Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Daddy eats lots. Munch, munch, munch.
Hello and welcome to Daddy Eats Last, where we discuss the challenge of being a man in modern society and the challenge of modern technology as well. What the hell that even means? I'm Kane, and joining me this evening are both Ryan and Maddie. Firstly, gents, how have you been?
Good, boys. Good. Good to be back together for another potty on a Sunday night. Had the last birthday party in our family this weekend, so all five are now done and dusted. Mia turned 8 yesterday and had a little soiree in the morning for a couple of friends, then the sleepover later on in the afternoon with another set of friends. So we had 4 girls sleeping over last night. I was smart enough to avoid that and suggest to Kim getting her sister over to help out, and I went to her sister's house with the other 2 little rugrats, so Sam and Eloise. So just chilled out with some McDonald's and Netflix. It was good.
That is a genius move. And of course, you are in Queensland, so it's pretty much access all areas up there now, as opposed to probably London, which Ryan will talk about shortly, and me down here in Victoria. So, you know, people coming over here, people coming over there. I'm just going over there. You know, just spread that corona, mate.
Oh, living the dream. All's going well here. We are definitely not doing sleepovers or catching up for soirees. But next Saturday, July 4th, we do have the pubs opening. So that I think everybody is hanging out for. We move into like lockdown phase 3. So there's obviously going to be small amounts of people in the pubs, but it'll be very nice to have a pint next weekend.
You didn't get to the beach this week, Ryan?
Yeah.
I did not get to the beach.
Was it
apparently there were a few people over here that did.
Just a few.
Bournemouth.
I couldn't understand. I saw the photos. Like, I think everyone in Australia would have saw the photos, and we were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it's happening in the UK," even though the exact same thing happened at Bondi. But the fact, what I couldn't believe was there was so many people, thousands and thousands of people, but bugger all of them are actually in the water.
Yeah, they love their sunbake over here. It's like as soon as literally the other day I was walking through parks and stuff, and it's genuinely people out in bikinis, board shorts, just lying down sunbaking.
Have they heard of skin
I
cancer
don't
over
know.
there?
Clearly not. Clearly not. So they love the idea of the tan. They love the idea of a sun. It's like, obviously I haven't been here for a whole year, so we'll see what happens with this whole 6 months of no sun thing. But it's like it's a scarce commodity when the sun comes out over here. God, that being said, it is summer. We've had like 3 days where it's been 30 plus, and then today like top of 20, and I'm back to wearing a jumper. So, and that is the summer. So maybe that's why they love it so much.
People lose their mind when the sun comes out, which is much the same here in Victoria at the moment. We had Saturday and Sunday here were cold mornings, but really nice days. And the amount of people who were just out and about having coffees, exercising, some of them social distancing, some of them not, on the back of, you know, increased cases here, was just, I don't know. I kind of drive along and just kind of scratch my head. I've gone, I just, you know, we don't seem to care. We've kind of got through one phase of being locked down, and now we're kind of going, oh, well, you know, if it just kind of bumps up again, it'll be okay, mate. It'll be fine. The whole Australian should be right, mate attitude, but I don't know. It's not trending the right way at the moment. That's for sure.
I don't think it's an Australian thing. I think it's the world. I think most places are just sort of like, stuff it. We're all done. There's kind of like this sense, definitely over here, of just like, we're over it, which is, you know, easy enough to say until it affects you, I guess. And then suddenly you won't feel that you're over it. Or if you asked a hospital nurse, I'm sure that they're not saying that they're kind of over it all. But it's a tough one, especially over here. Like, I think people are really struggling with, you know, pubs is such a part of the culture here, and just socializing. And because you only do get 3 months of sun in summer, there's this real worry that we're going to, people kind of live for it. So it'll be interesting to see if there is a second wave or not.
Yeah, I think the good part about here in Australia at the moment is the fact that hospitalisation numbers in Victoria, because we're the only ones who have like sort of a large number of active cases. The hospitalisation numbers are still really low. So people who are active are actually just self-isolating at home at the moment. So I guess that's one good thing. Touch wood. That's where we're at the moment. But we're not going to talk about COVID-19 all this episode or all tonight. Manny, you wanted to discuss music.
Yeah, I thought we'd. This is maybe something we haven't touched on before. And the reason I thought about this subject was of the ways I find myself using music on a daily basis in different ways, I guess. So whether it being a car trip with the kids, I'm generally only in the car with kids these days, having working from home now with Kim for the last few months. So it's school trips and other trips to the shops, I guess. And the music in the car is all sort of geared towards the kids. I don't know whether you're the same there, Kane, but then there's other situations in my life where, I'm putting Sam to bed and I'll put a bit of music on there as well. So they're all different types of music. Like, for example, putting Sam to bed we're listening to one of the theme songs out of Titanic at the moment, just the piano piece, which is a nice little sort of lullaby that puts us both off to snooze land, which is nice. And there's a whole other range of other ones as well, but I'll let you guys have a chime in as well. But I think, music plays a massive part in my life. And I was wondering whether or not you guys are the same.
Well, it's funny. I actually write a blog on a Friday for my business, accountancyonline.com.au. Gratuitous plug there. That is accountancyonline.com.au, where I write a weekly blog just taking song lyrics and pulling some life or business advice out of those lyrics. And you've both featured on there by giving me songs over the journey. So I've done this for about 200 songs now, and luckily it is music based, so there's like millions of songs out there that I can choose from, but I've managed to pull things from things such as Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer all the way through to stuff which is in the top 40. So music certainly plays a big part in my life. And again, accountancyonline.com.au for all your accountancy needs.
So just in time for end of financial year.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know. I generally can't live without music. I'm one of those people that, like, I will exercise with music if I'm doing it on my own, unless I'm playing some form of sport or something. But I'm also one of those people that just cannot work without noise. So, like, obviously working from home, I've always got the AirPods in with music playing. But even when I was at the office, like, everybody knew that they could come up and talk to me even with headphones in and AirPods in, because I just couldn't function without noise. So I would just have music playing all the time. And obviously in the office, you don't want to blast music for everybody because they might have different tastes in music. But yeah, I don't know that there would be a day that I wouldn't actually listen to music. My Spotify account certainly gets plenty of mileage.
Yeah, it's and just kind of the bridge between both those conversations there. Maddie mentioning kids and the music you listen to with kids, and then you listening to things every day. I'd be much the same back when I was employed, and even before having a kid, I'd be listening to music. Not 24/7, obviously, although I do actually listen to some music when I go to bed. It helps me go to sleep. It's like kind of my trigger to go to sleep is a particular, or it's more of a sound effect than music, I guess. But one of the things I miss about having a kid now is the ability to play the music I want whenever I want, and not, having the little fella then just go, oh, listen, can you play, the Imperial March from Star Wars because you want to march around like Darth Vader, or can you please play, All Night Long by Lionel Richie because I want to have a dance? Like, so not having the ability to play the music I want at a time I want is probably something I almost miss most about having a kid. Which is it seems like a ridiculous thing to say, but that's how much music I used to listen to.
That's the biggest downside of having a kid, right there.
Oh no, there's lots of upsides.
You have to share the radio.
Yeah, there's lots of upsides, lots of downsides. But I don't really care what Teo from Play School has to say about washing his hands in song. I don't really care what Jay Lagaya, his family times. I don't care about these things. But that's my little fella likes them.
Cherry's caring. Just on a kid cane and music, I wonder if you're the same here, and even Ryan, because you're, I guess, not commuting to work, you're at home at the office. When you go and listen to music, do you go and either listen with your Spotify account, listen to new music, or are you rolling the same sort of playlists and same sort of songs you know, or grew up with, or, you know, you just like to listen to? And I ask that question is because I'm the latter. I don't really listen to radio unless it's like sort of news radio. I don't listen to commercial radio, or I'm not really up with the Spotify. Kim is, she listens to all that kind of stuff. But I tend to jump on the YouTube and it's, you know, either Blink's greatest hits, or it's, you know, a bit of Coldplay's greatest hits, or stuff that I've grown up with, not new stuff. And I kind of worry a little bit I'm going to be out of touch in years to come when the kids are a bit, you know, putting new stuff on the radio, and I'll be like, what's this stuff?
I don't really have too much of a problem with being out of touch as such, as like the whole man yells at clouds sort of scenario off The Simpsons. I don't have too much of a problem with being out of touch, because if being in touch is listening to R&B in the top 40, I don't want to be in touch, because it's never been my sort of music. I was never into R&B when, you know, Boys to Men were rocking the charts back when I was 15 or 16. I didn't like it then. I don't really like that type of music now. I like some rap music. I like a fairly eclectic range of songs and music, but I'll have a mix. So I'll generally fall back to songs which, you know, were from when I was probably 18 to 25. That's my default.
Yeah.
But then I'll also throw on some new songs every now and again as well. And it won't be, you know, top 40 stuff. It'll be, I guess, indie music is the best way of describing it, and predominantly British or American indie music. So yeah, I try to mix it up as much as I can, but I guess on the default is to stuff that I know.
So you used to be with it, and they changed what it was.
Yeah, correct. Absolutely correct. But man, I never liked R&B back when it was, you know, like, you know, into club sort of stuff. So that hasn't really changed. I've been pretty consistent in the music which I like. I'll listen to other music, but, you know, I haven't changed that much, which is, I guess, good. Hey, you're on.
Yeah, it's that whole Abe Simpson thing of I was, and then they changed what it was. And, now what it is scary to me.
Correct. I don't want to be into club. I don't like the club. I don't even know where the club is.
Yeah, I think I'd probably resonate. Like, most of my time would be spent listening to stuff that I was listening to between sort of 18 and 25. It's sort of in the mood, like whatever mood I'm in and whatever I'm doing it. So I will listen to quite sort of pop, R&B, a bit of rap stuff, especially when I'm training, like if I'm running and that kind of thing. That's probably my go-to. But if I'm doing any form of deep work, I would say I'm probably listening to stuff like just going, you know, similar to you guys, stuff that I was listening to 5-10 years ago, just because, I don't know, I really like the familiarity of it and all that kind of thing. But interesting that you say what you said, Maddie, because I actually yesterday put on the Spotify the Australian top 40, because I was like, I don't drive anymore, and that's like, I would just always listen to sort of top 40 radio on that, and I was like, I really don't know what is new, because I've been stuck at home. And the cool thing with Spotify is, like, they do these made for you playlists. So there's like 6 different genres and made for you playlists if you're on the paid account or whatever. So it's weird. I kind of outsource my music to them, and because I've played the songs that I like, you know, so many times, they sort of couple them with similar songs. So it's just really, if I'm feeling like a rock genre, or if I'm feeling like an R&B genre, or whatever it is. But I actually have a really weird thing with music, which is I've had it for years, and like TK finds it really just weird and bizarre. But whenever I fly, or whenever I travel on flying, I always listen to, I don't know how this happened, I don't know how this got into like my subconscious or psyche or whatever, but I always listen to country or country pop music just when I'm flying. Like, it's so weird that I remember, I think it was Channel 9, it was Qantas, and they had like, it was the country Qantas radio channel or whatever, and I would just always listen to that whenever I was flying. So yeah, Go figure. That's a really weird one.
Wow, that would have been a fun old trip over to the old Dart. 24 hours of Casey Chambers.
24 hours of country pop hits. There was a few movies in between there, but yeah, it's just a weird thing. So like I have Spotify. There's actually like this hot country playlist that if I get on a plane, I listen to, and it's just weird. But I don't know. I've just learned to lean into it.
Yeah, that's pretty random. Like, I guess it's people have different crutches when they fly, like a crutch they hold on to, to kind of get through. But yeah, country music's that's up there in the weirdo stake. So nice to you, my friend.
So
Where are your partners? Are they? I know TK is quite into music, and she does have quite good taste in music. From the short conversation I've had with her about music before, and that I've heard through you.
yeah, she's much more musical and sort of like Triple J and purist music compared to myself, who's definitely a top 40s sellout. But I would say that I listen to music a lot more than she does, because I just need that noise on when I'm working. But she would listen to music for the sake of music's sake or pleasure more than I would. So I need it because I just need the noise, but she would listen to it for actually like appreciation of it.
Yeah, so I used to actually get the CDs back when CDs were a thing, and I used to spend pretty much all my spare money on CDs. So I'd go to JB Hi-Fi and buy a bunch of CDs, and I'd come home and I'd listen to the CD, and actually just at that point they'd have the lyrics in there. I'd actually just read the lyrics as the music was coming on. So I can completely get where TK is coming from there. What about back when we could go and see live music, gigs? You've been to many gigs, or do you go to many gigs?
I haven't been to many gigs actually, probably compared to how many gigs you've been to. Again, Blink a few times, Maroon 5, and Snow Patrol and Johnny Farnham. That's probably, that's sad. That's, what, 4 in my lifetime of gigs. Yeah. I don't know why that is. But yeah.
Yeah, I've been to 1 or 2 music festivals, and then probably been to half a dozen to a dozen gigs. Probably went to them a bit more when I was in Perth before I moved to Melbourne, but went to a couple when I was in Melbourne. Haven't for a while though, but would probably like to go. Like I remember seeing Justin Timberlake at Etihad Stadium and Bon Jovi there, and a few music festivals back in Perth. And yeah, really enjoy actually going to gigs. It's just finding times and dates and everything that marries up. But I think you've probably been to more than both of us, Kane.
Yeah, I used to go to a gig almost on a weekly or at a minimum fortnightly basis back when I was sort of probably between the age of 20 and sort of late 20s, almost weekly, definitely monthly. Seen all sorts of bands on the way through. Been to a couple of festivals. I wasn't a big festival fan. I used to like the side shows where you just get a particular artist you wanted to see for 2 or 3 hours instead of 45 minutes sort of greatest hit stuff. But yeah, live music is just an amazing thing, and it's not something which I've been to for ages really. And there was one gig I was tossing up going to, but then COVID-19 hit, and then I wouldn't have gone ahead anyway. So, but it's something I'd like to do a little bit more of. But it's just trying to again find that time, and especially with a little fella who gets up at 7 o'clock every sort of day at a minimum, like it's hard to actually go, okay, if I'm going to go see a gig, I'm not going to get home till sort of 11:30. I have to butter up the next day. I won't be able to hear him because I've probably had music blaring in my ears. So it's hard to find that time, even if we could go now, which we can't anyway.
Yeah, I wonder if gigs will be impacted quite heavily, to like 1, 2, 3 years from now when everything calms down. Or they might get a resurgence.
Did they cancel Glastonbury? Was that this year? Is that every second year? Is that happening this year or next year?
I think everything's been cancelled, to be honest. I don't think any of the festivals anywhere are going on. The only festival which went on was, Novak Djokovic's tennis festival, and that went well.
That did not work out well for him.
No, it did not.
But no, live music, I think, it's definitely something different compared to, the radio and that kind of thing. It's certainly an experience, or can be an experience in itself.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, for everyone out there one thing which is back, because obviously live music's not back, a lot of the art stuff is not back, although you're starting to open cinemas and starting to open a few theatres now. One thing which is back is Australian rules football, gents. And, we've got 2 Hawthorn supporters and a North Melbourne supporter on the line here. And it's deep into the 4th quarter at Etihad or Marvel Stadium. And Hawthorn are leading 58-52 after being about 5 goals up during the last quarter. So there is literally 5 points of difference now with not long left. And we did have a little side bet before Daddy Eats Last that the loser or losers of this particular match would have to sing a song live. So it's maybe a bit too close to call, gents. We might have to come back and revisit this one.
It might be. We might have to start the next one off with the spoils of whatever victory this may be with North Melbourne. Snatching victory off the grasp.
Yeah, or we can just do we can just go the Simpsons mini golf thing and just declare us all losers, and we have to mow each other's lawns in our wives' best dress.
We could do that.
No, I want to hear someone sing.
Yeah, well, you can nominate for the Hawks side in that case, Matthew. I don't think I want to subject anyone to my sort of my singing, but. And in breaking news, Hawthorn has just defeated North Melbourne by 4 points at Marvel Stadium. So that means that Ryan has lost the honour bet between the Daddy Eats Last team and now has to sing a song of his choosing. And, well, I think we should go with a country song, Ryan. It's right up your alley. Just pretend you're on a plane.
I don't think it's a song of my choosing. I think it's a song of your choosing was the bet to the turn. So
I'm happy to hear some country.
All right. So, as per Maddie's offline suggestion, I've just Googled Country Roads lyrics. So maybe we'll do that, eh?
Do you need a beat, or you're okay?
Have you heard the song before? Do you know what you're singing?
I think I've heard the song before, but I'll give the main chorus a go. We can do that. I don't know. Can you put some form of a beat on, Kane?
No, you have to go a cappella. But I'll count you in. A 1, a 2, okay. A 1, 2, 3, 4.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. Clearly, I never became a singer.
Well done.
Thank you, Hawthorn Football Club. That was fantastic. Catch you next week.
I look forward to it.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.